Hands together for Ian Ager.
Oh man, Chapel Hill! It's so good to be back in the land of good barbecue. Seriously, I've been living in Los Angeles for the last year and a half. The first time I went out for barbecue in the city of LA, I was offered a ham sandwich on toast with ketchup. For this culinary marvel, they expected me to pay them $20. And that's why I came back, you guys. But finding a roommate in LA was really weird because I decided to try and use Craigslist to do it. Because nothing's ever gone wrong with Craigslist before, you guys. Nothing's ever gone wrong with Craigslist. I thought I would build like an idiot-proof Craigslist ad, and Craigslist built me better idiots. That's what happened. So I made my ad. I decided to try and make it as simple as possible. I put like a picture of the room I was trying to rent out, like a map so you could see where it was. I didn't give the actual address out because I didn't want people to rob me. And because my last roommate that I found through Craigslist was keeping a ferret illegally in his bathroom, I decided to be specific and say, no ferrets. Seriously, if we talk and I find out you're a ferret, you're not getting the apartment. So actual emails that I received in response to this ad. Can I see pictures of the place? Where's the apartment located? And the humdinger, what's a ferret? I was like, you're on a computer. If you see a word, you don't know what it means, you can go to Google and find out in 0.26 seconds. It's not that difficult. The other thing you encounter when you move out of the South is that everywhere else has a perception that the South is just really racist. Like, I get it. I'm a white guy from the South. The assumption, therefore, is that I own slaves. And that's really inappropriate, first off, because the correct term these days is interns, people. Get it right. But seriously, I'm not a racist. I can't be. I have a lot of black friends. That's always been a hilarious excuse that I've heard actual racists use. That's like saying, I can't be gay, all my friends are dudes. Just never put two and two together there. Or how about this one? Anytime somebody says not to be a blank, what they really mean is, I'm about to be a huge blank right now, please don't judge me for it. Like, I just really wish that held up in court, you guys. Like, Your Honor, not to be an arsonist, I just really like setting fires in residential zones. Your Honor, not to be a murderer, but the guy sleeps with his window open and he's kind of a dick. I don't know. But I'm not a racist. I would really like to be, though, because here's the secret, y'all. Racists live forever. Seriously, think about it. Strom Thurmond, Jesse Helms, Grandma. It's like the hate just keeps them alive. The flesh gave up a long time ago, but the spirit still has brown people to keep down. But there's another cultural quirk of ours that's been bugging me lately, and that's that it seems like people are only willing to put forth the bare minimum on anything. Like, I get it, I only try so hard at work because, frankly, all our jobs suck. But it's been spilling over into other areas of my life. I have a lot of friends who don't have cars in Los Angeles. Like, you know how bad that is just here, right? A couple of you? All right. But I have friends who don't have cars, and it's like, high school and New York City are the only places where that's acceptable. Anywhere else, it's just a major drag on the relationship. But I have this one friend who doesn't have a car, and he's a genius about it. He's figured out exactly how to get me to drive him around places and do things with like a minimum of effort on his part. I won't hear from the guy for weeks. And right when I'm like, oh man, does Joe still hate me? He'll call me up and he's like, hey man, you want to hang out? And I'm like, sweet. I'm like wagging my tail like a little puppy dog driving over there. We get there, I'm like, cool, what's going on, man? All right, look, I'm gonna do laundry today. The laundromat is 3 blocks north. I'm driving you, aren't I? Yep. Yep, you are. Delicate cycle for your wool sweaters? Yes, thank you. It also seeps over into my work life. A little bit about myself. I'm an EMT. That's how I make my day job money. I drive ambulances in the city of Los Angeles, mostly backup 911 in the city of Compton. Why are you guys intimidated? Compton's actually a really nice place. Like, it's not that bad anymore. Here's how nice Compton is these days. Compton has a Target. I'm serious. If you want like modestly priced housewares or a new Jewel CD, go to Compton. They've got that shit. Compton has white people banks, like Wells Fargo. That's how nice Compton is now. But when people find out I'm an EMT, the first question they always ask me is like, oh, do you drive with the sirens on? What's that like? I'll just paint a little picture for you guys of what driving with the sirens on in an ambulance is like. The next time you see a large crowd of people, just whip your junk out and run into them screaming at the top of your lungs. That's what it's like. Everyone's just gonna stare at you and no one's gonna move and you're gonna hope you don't snag on anything. That's how that goes. People are only interested in doing the bare minimum effort. They're just gonna stop and hope that the 15,000-pound vehicle can swerve around them going at speed. Move out of the way of the ambulance, I guess, is the moral of that joke for you guys, if you take one thing home from tonight. And it also spills over into our interpersonal relationships. I remember I saw this couple at a bar one time. They were hanging out, holding hands, being all cute. But each of them was texting somebody else while they were hanging out with each other. It's like they're only together to give each other fodder for their friends to bitch about on their texts. Like, they're only there for emotional support while they negotiate a business deal on their phones or something. I don't know. And at one point, it was like the girl could read my mind because she was like, honey, I need you to stop what you're doing. I need you to pull up your calculator app and multiply two numbers together for me. And first off, you're on your phone too. You have a calculator app. You can do that. And secondly, how are you going to set feminism that far back by letting the man multiply the numbers? Just a little thought. And I realized in that moment that just technology has come so far for us, and we're not even aware how much our life revolves around it. Like, you guys remember when email came out? How awesome that was? Like, you didn't have to wait 3 weeks to hear back from somebody, like 2 towns away. It changed everything. You got like instant correspondence with people around the world. Email's still there now, but it's full of lies. Like every day, it's just a different Nigerian prince. Or a different stranger who's way too interested in my penis. Don't even get me started on Facebook, because what Facebook has done is they've taken the high school reunion and turned it from a one-day event into a 24-hour live feed. You can just sit there clicking. All of the hot girls from high school get fatter and fatter, and you get sadder and sadder. And I hear Mark Zuckerberg wants to bring the internet to the third world. I can't wait to hear what all the starving Ugandan children really think about all those cupcakes on Pinterest. I imagine they'll be floored. Like, we already give the third world so much of our, like, secondhand stuff. Like, a bunch of kids in Africa got a bunch of Broncos t-shirts, like, a week ago. Still stings? A little bit? You're over it? Good man. But, like, so we already give them our secondhand sports t-shirts from the losers of every championship. Is the third world gonna run okay on, like, net zero and AOL discs? Are they gonna be cool with that? I really hope so. But it seems like even when we try not to stick to just the bare minimum job, it still bites us in the ass. There was a mathematician at UCLA decided that he was going to hack OkCupid. So he created this whole search program and had a bunch of bots answer all of the survey questions that OkCupid gives out, just so he had an entire pool of answers. He grouped them all using some statistical software that usually computes like dead soybean crops. Using that, he grouped all the women in LA OkCupid into 8 different categories, then picked the 2 most attractive ones to him and made the statistically perfect profile to have pages and pages of matches at like 90+% probability. He did all this effort. There's a happy ending. He's engaged now. And his fiance actually found him through OkCupid just by searching for tall guys near UCLA. That's my time. My name is Ian Ager. You guys have been beautiful.
Just so you guys know, if we can get a special round of applause to the real star of the show, your bartender, Ryan, everybody.